Rule number 4 and final rule of this module is prioritize what matters most in the plan. Whether you're working on the plan yourself or when it comes to being discussed with your team, your stakeholder, your clients, whoever it might be, do not treat every task and activity the same in your plan. So project management can be a really overwhelming job at times, especially as you're expected to know everything. Or at least that's what you think. That's not true. You don't need to know everything, but you can feel responsible for any issues that you have on the project. Again, you're not, by the way, but you're right in the middle of it. So it makes it really, really hard. This is why it's so important to not only focus on what really cut. This is why it's so important to only focus on what really matters, or that's where you put the most of your time. And by what matters, I mean what can have the biggest impact on your project, whether that's you can create a better product or service at the end of the day, or just something just needs to happen so the project can be delivered. So this could be a task or milestone that's on your critical path, or it could be a task that has a high risk of delay. Or it might be an area of the project that your team just doesn't have experience in. So again, there's a lot of risk around that. More discussion, more planning, and more mitigation is needed. Wherever they are, you need to put more of your time there. You can think of it in a way as same as like the Pareto principle, which states for many outcomes, roughly 80% of the consequences come from 20% of the causes. So what is your 20% in your plan that can have the most impact on your project, or is most likely to have the impact on your project? Because the bulk of the plan can just be managed by you and the team. That is what the team is for. They know what they're doing and how to do it, well, most of the time. So don't waste your time discussing the obvious, easy things that are just going to happen. Focus on what you're not sure about, what worries you, what's got the highest risk, and put all your time and effort in there. So if you're talking about a phase of work, don't go through every single task and treat them all the same. Talk about the ones that you're most concerned about, that have the highest risk. Again, we'll cover more of this in later lessons when it comes to where to focus and how. So that's it for rule number 4. And the final rule, prioritize what matters most in your plan. It really does make a big difference when it comes to feeling in control of what you're doing, and try not to think of absolutely everything. Focus on that big stuff. Focus on that 20% that's going to have the biggest impact on your project. And if you can remove or at least mitigate some of those problems, or those big challenge areas, I should say, then everything gets easier on the project.